history.
This Twins-Astros series on Fox Sports North is presented by Ram. Hurry in and get a deal during the Ram Spring Sales Event. It's another cool night in Minneapolis, the start of a new series. The Astros are what the Twins want to become, world champions, and they'll open up a 3-game series here at Target Field. And we welcome you to Target Field. We're glad to have baseball for you here tonight after the postponement yesterday. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven. The Twins just 7 games into the season, but they pitched better this year, particularly in the first 3 games of the year in Baltimore. The starters didn't give up a run in the 21 innings that they pitched. Since then, they've come back down to earth a little bit.
I think we all know it goes down to starting pitching. If your starters do well, normally you have a good chance to win that ball game. Well, they did that in Baltimore, winning 2 of 3. Of course, Brioso's shutout. 21 consecutive shutout innings in Baltimore for the starters. But since then, Twins have not had a starter go more than 5 innings. So, see, the last 4 starts, 0-2, very high ERA. What they need here tonight is a very quality start by Lance Lynn.
Yep, the Astros are what the Twins want to be, world champions. The Astros have what the Twins want to get. That is a World Series trophy. The Astros hope to become the first team to defend their World Series title successfully in more than 15 years. It's Houston against Minnesota, 2 of the playoff teams in the American League field from a year ago. North is presented by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us.
We've got another beauty outside today. 36 degrees officially with a wind chill of 26. And we will play the first of 3 for the Twins and the Astros. Good evening from Target Field. I'm Marnie Gellner. Last season, the Astros came here to this ballpark at the end of May and completely dominated in a 3-game series against the Twins. Outscored the Twins in those 3 games 40-16. They swept that series, and manager Paul Molitor said today that, hey, we're going to do in this series this week what we've already shown that we can do this season, and that's give a battle, give the Astros a good challenge. We're going to play our best baseball, and we've shown that we're a different team. The Twins aren't too worried about what happened last season or the fact that the Astros are the defending World Series champs. They intend to play some pretty good baseball here in these 3 games. So coming up next, Byron Buxton was in the center of some fantastic plays in center field. His defensive recognition after this.
He patrols center field with style and grace, chasing down everything, no matter how big the space. With his skills, you never know when something spectacular will unfold.
Buxton running right after it. Oh, what a catch! What a catch by Byron Buxton!
And last year, his play was rewarded with gold.
That's the best catch I've seen a center fielder make this year.
He's dynamic and reminds me of someone else I know. A couple of twin center fielders from not long ago.
At the wall, it is caught. Oh, what a catch by Torrey Hunter. Back is Puckett. He's at the fence. He leaps up. He caught it. Oh, what a catch. Kirby Puckett with a great grab in left center field.
Hey, Byron, I can tell you that Kirby would have respected your game, and I do too. Congratulations on your first Gold Glove. And this year, let's get number 2.
And before the game, another honor for Byron Buxton, the Wilson Defensive Player of the Year. Gold, silver, and the honors keep coming to the Twin center field.
I tell you what, if I'm one of the pitchers for the Twins, I'm out there applauding because he's saving me a lot of runs. Now, nice to have Byron Buxton out in center field.
And let's check out the Twins defense tonight, brought to you by Northland Ford. Eddie Rosario's in left, the Gold Glover and Defensive Player of the Year winner Byron Buxton in center, Max Kepler in right. Infield of Miguel Sano, Eduardo Escobar, Brian Dozier, and Joe Mauer. And good to see Jason Castro back behind the plate. Looked like he tweaked something. We'll talk more about that as we move along. Back in the lineup and making his first target field Twin start in his second start overall, Lance Lynn.
Yeah, Joe, there's numbers from his last start. He gave up a grand slam, 5 runs in the first inning, then 3 shutout innings. Twins ended up losing 5-4. But Lance Lynn in the scouting report, good career against the Houston Astros in his career, 4-1 with a 2.18 ERA. First major league win came against the Astros, and he wants to rebound from his first start.
And wants to that end, wants to throw more strikes and now avoid the walks that led to his early departure. And Lynn with a fastball misses outside, ball 1.
Well, Lynn will attack the strike zone with a fastball in the low 90s, sometimes a little bit higher. Cut fastball, curveball, slider, changeup, a lot of assortment of pitches.
Bouncer wide of third, and it's 1-1. Take a look at the Astros lineup. They're off to an 8-2 start, tying the franchise record for best start in 10 games. Brought to you by Menards. George Springer, the designated hitter. Then Bregman, Altuve, Correa, Gonzalez, McCann, Davis, Marisnik, and Fisher. 1-1 to George Springer. And fastball missing inside. So
George Springer in his 5th season with the Astros. Last year in the World Series, he was the MVP for the world champion Houston Astros. Made the All-Star team last year.
Fouled off the mask of Castro, I believe. 2-2.
And you see the short sleeves of Lance Lynn out on that mound. Saw Barrios the other day with really no sleeves, you know, just maybe a t-shirt underneath.
Lynn dealt in dealt with similar weather conditions in his Twins debut in Pittsburgh on a Tuesday. And there's a called third strike.
Good fastball in right there. So Lynn picking up his first strikeout. He had 3 strikeouts in his last start against the Pirates. Good moving fastball. You see it, almost a 2-seamer. That Springer takes for strike 3.
I think we saw fastballs 91, 92, 93, and the last one 94. 1 down, and here's Alex Bregman. Marty mentioned that last year the Astros came here in late May and bludgeoned the Twins 40-16 in a 3-game sweep. In that series, Bregman hit 9th, and he had a really good series. And you looked at him and you said, this guy is hitting 9th. How good is this Houston team? Well, of course, they went on to win the World Series. That's how good they were, and now he's hitting 2nd. There's a strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, Bregman just 24 years old. He was the Astros' #1 pick back in 2015. So he got to the big leagues very quickly, played his college ball out of LSU.
You can see Bregman's numbers, most of those accumulated in that May series a year ago. 1-1. Just off the plate. And Lynn relying, I think, exclusively on fastballs. I don't think he's thrown a breaking ball yet. Two and 1. There's a breaking ball. Now it's 3-1 with Altuve on deck. 6 walks in his Twins debut, tying a career high. 3 in the first inning and then 1 each for the next 3 innings.
Now Castro putting down fastball, I'm sure, outer half of the plate as he'll creep outside.
And he missed, and it's a 5-pitch walk. A strikeout, now a walk. Altuve to the plate. Our Pizza Ranch for the win tonight.
Pretty simple right here. Quality start. That's what the staff needs. We talked about it in the open. First 3 starts in Baltimore, all quality starts. The last 4, not so good. So it's up to Lance Lynn to get the ball rolling again.
Altuve off to a good start, hitting just as he did when the 2017 World Championship season ended. Missing inside, ball 1.
Start him off with a breaking ball. Altuve, the MVP in the American League last year. Hit .346 last year. It's the 3rd time that already in his career he's won a batting title.
Fastball missing inside. So Lynn struggling again. He's thrown a dozen pitches and only 4 strikes.
Not a lot of at-bats for these Astros against Lynn, because the last time that he faced them, you have to go back to 2013. June 26, 2013.
And now 3-0.
Well, not missing by much. Take a look at Castro sitting inside and just inside. So Lynn having some control issues, the same issues he had in his last start in Pittsburgh.
Down the middle, a strike, 3-1. Asked Lynn after his start in Pittsburgh whether the cold weather was a factor, and he did not use that as an excuse.
Well, he's a big man, 6'5", about 270. In his 7th season in the big leagues.
Buxton retreating and making the catch for out number 2. And that'll bring up Carlos Correa. You can see what he's done against the Astros, a good mark. With a low ERA, all the numbers encouraging as Lynn hopes to pick up his first Twins win tonight.
Yeah, all those numbers coming in when he was with the Cardinals. Again, he has not faced him since 2013.
Carlos Correa been bothered by a big toe on his left foot. Missed a little bit of time, missed some at bats along the way, but hitting over 300, couple of home runs, and leading the team with 9 runs batted in. And close play with runner Bregman diving back. Looked like he got paralyzed by Lynn's move there for a little bit. Swing and a miss at a 94-mile-per-hour fastball. Kind of a contrast between the two teams here in this homestand so far. The Mariners, a playoff contender at least, but they're very much on the older end of the spectrum in baseball. These Astros are good, and for the most part, they're very young.
Talked about Bregman being only 24, Correa only 23 years old.
1-1 to Correa.
Correa out of Puerto Rico. Astros #1 pick back in 2012. Rookie of the year in 2015, made his first All-Star team last year.
Swings and misses.
Good fastball away. So working outer half of the plate. It's almost like a little cutter right there, a little sailor. That's what Bob Feller used to call the old Navy pitch, the old sailor.
1-2. Breaking ball, bounced foul. It's interesting you bring that up during the Twins took batting practice today for the first time since Baltimore on the field. They've been hitting in the cages. They were outside, and I was talking with Tony Oliva, and he said, you know who had a really good cutter? It was Jim Perry. He said Jim threw a fastball and he had a little cut on it, just something that broke about 4 inches. 1-2 to Carlos Correa. Fouled away. Think of Jim as a kind of a fastball slider guy, but Tony said no, he had a fastball and he just cut it a little bit and it would move about 4 inches and just take it off the sweet spot of the bat.
Yeah, I had an opportunity in my rookie season to watch Jim Perry win 24 ball games and win the American League Cy Young Award with that little cutter, and he changed speeds well. Excellent control both sides of the plate for my father at the time, Jim Perry.
20 pitches, 10 strikes for Lynn, and now a ball off the plate, and it's 2-2. Lynn never got untracked in Pittsburgh. Trying to pitch around a 1-out walk here in the first inning tonight. And a strikeout. In fact, 2 of them in the inning. A walk wasted in the first inning. No score after a half. to do that tonight with this Menards batting order. Brian Dozier leading off, then Joe Mauer, Miguel Sano, Eddie Rosario, Logan Morrison, Eduardo Escobar, Max Kepler, Byron Buxton, and Jason Castro. The Twins will not face in this series the two best Houston starting pitchers so far this year, Garrett Cole and Charlie Morton. So that's the good news. The bad news, they get Verlander, Keuchel, and McCullers.
Well, they've seen a lot of Justin Verlander, and he's had outstanding numbers here at Target Field. This is his 35th career start against the Twins. He's 17-9, and since July 10th, he is 12-2 against the Twins in 19 starts.
First pitch popped up, backing out of play.
And he's a guy you want to swing early against. He will challenge you with his fastball. He's got 4 very good pitches, making his 388th major league start.
On the ground to third, scooped up by Bregman. And across the way, 1 down. Astros do everything well, include Pickett in the field. There's the Astros defense, brought to you by Northland Ford. Marwin Gonzalez, Jake Marisnick, and Derek Fisher in the outfield. Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, Jose Altuve, and for now, J.D. Davis at first. Yuli Gurriel is returning imminently, with Brian McCann behind the plate. There is Davis getting a chance to play with Gurriel, who broke a hamate bone in his hand early in spring training, and he's just about ready to rejoin the major league club. There's strike 1 to Joe Mauer.
Joe Mauer, a lot of at-bats against Justin Verlander. Of course, Verlander with the Detroit Tigers, all those games played between the two ball clubs. 77 at-bats, 25 hits for Joe.
Crack to left center, headed towards the gap, and a diving attempt. Marisnick comes up short. Mauer to second, and he'll go into second with a double. And Joe is wearing out that gap in left center field.
I don't know if Joe's pulled a ball yet this year, but it's a high fastball, and Joe getting good wood on it again. 325 hitter against one of the best pitchers in baseball. He doesn't miss this fastball. Marisnick diving for it. He comes up short. It's Gonzalez that has to get it back in. So a double for Joe, his 4th of the year.
And now here's Miguel Sano. Just off the outside corner, ball 1. Sano backs out. Verlander stepped off the rubber. Sano on Saturday picked up 3 walks in the ball game, showing a little more plate discipline so far this year. And he takes 2-0. That will be so helpful to him if he can continue to do that, forcing pitchers to throw him pitches over the plate.
Yeah, a couple sliders missing by Verlander. Verlander, 35 years old. I list him at 6'5", about 225. In his 14th season in the major leagues.
Strike call, 2-1.
Yeah, high strike at that.
Twins not only had batting practice on the field, an abbreviated session, they also took early BP. Paul Molitor said, yeah, 9 days without taking batting practice on the field is way too many. So Sano was out early. A lot of the Twins were, even though it still is very, very cold. 2-1. Lifted down the right field line, a foul ball. 2-2.
Well, I think Sano was sitting on that fastball. Verlander just got a little bit quicker to home plate than Sano thought. Good swing by Sano, just fouling it toward right field.
2-2 from Verlander to Sano. Up high, 3-2. Rosario on deck. Verlander, in advance of this start, said this will be the coldest game he's ever pitched in. The Astros yesterday played in Houston on a 52-degree day. That was the coldest game the Astros had to play in Houston.
I'm surprised at that. I mean, a lot of those starts in Detroit,
right,
where it can be just as cold as here tonight.
Half swing gets Sano.
Yep.
A breaking ball on 3-2.
And that's what Verlander can do. You're looking fastball situation. You see the slider right here. Picks up his first strikeout.
2 down, and now Eddie Rosario.
Verlander, of course, coming over from the Tigers back in late August. And since being an Astros pitcher, this is his 8th start, excuse me. Astros are 6-0 in his 7 starts. He's yet to be defeated in an Astro uniform, so good time to do it tonight.
Except in the World Series. If you extend that to the postseason, this is his 13th start, and he's taken 1 loss as a member of the Astros, and that was in the World Series, but he was brilliant for them in the postseason. One of the main reasons they ended up winning their first World Championship.
Look at the ERA, 1.38.
1 strike to Rosario. And a 4-hopper to Altuve. Bauer gets a double. He's left at second. No score after 1.
The Astros, no score yet here at Target Field. In the scoop from the clubhouse tonight, Paul Molitor said he was looking forward to Lance Lynn making another start tonight because with some of the control issues he had in his first start in Pittsburgh, he said, I think everyone's anxious to see what Lynn can really be like, and he can be a very good pitcher for us and an upgrade this season in that rotation. Irvin Santana is flying to the Twin Cities tonight. He'll see Twins doctors tomorrow with that surgery he had on his finger. And Molitor said, I've heard he wants to see what he can do to get approval to pick up the pace in his rehab. And the Twins did take batting practice on the field today because they're looking to get into a rhythm this season, which they have not done yet. Paul Molitor said, our game is so much routine oriented. It'll be really good when we can finally get there and get into a routine.
And it's hard to do that with all the off days. Then you mix in a postponement, and it's been really tough for the Twins, who so far since the season started have played a game, had an off day, played 3 games in 3 days, had an off day, played a game.
I'm just surprised that I'm just surprised that Major League Baseball, to be honest with you, have the Twins in a 10-day homestand. I really do. Early in April. You know, the weather's so
10 games here and then 2 in Puerto Rico. I mean, technically those are home games too.
I'll take the 2 in Puerto Rico.
1 and 2 to Gonzalez. It'll be interesting to see next year, because there's a real good chance the Twins are going to have to open the season at home in late March to get in and out of town to get a series in before the Final Four comes. So yeah, the home opener was early this year, but it might be even earlier next year. 2 and 2 from Lynn to Gonzalez, then McCann and Davis. Foul down the left field line.
Yeah, Gonzalez, the only switch hitter in the Astros lineup in his 7th season with the Astros. Had a career year last year. Played 134 ball games, hit a career high 303, 23 home runs, and drove in 90. Usually, you know what, you need good team effort. You got Altuve, you got other guys like that that have the normal steady year, but you need other guys to step up, and Gonzalez, one of those guys that stepped up last year.
Pitch count already running up high for Lynn. He's only gotten 3 outs. This will be pitch number 29. And now a full count. He is yet to pitch a walkless inning for the Twins. Just 4 innings with at least 1 walk in all 4 in Pittsburgh, and then a first inning walk here tonight. And there's a second inning walk. This time leading off the inning. That'll bring up Brian McCann.
Yeah, Lynn coming into this ball game averaging about 3.5 walks per 9 innings in his career. Now, he can pick up some strikeouts, averaging over 8 per 9 innings.
Here's McCann off to a good start as the primary catcher for the Astros.
Saw McCann when he was with the Yankees 2014 to 16. Last year, his first season with the Astros.
Punched to left and a base hit. And there'll be runners at first and second with nobody out here in the second inning. McCann just stuck the bat out and dumped it into left. First Astro hit, and that'll bring up J.D. Davis.
Yeah, right off the end of the bat, McCann getting that fastball. You can see just kind of just softly hitting it toward left field. The first hit for the Astros, but runners at first and second. Nobody out.
I think you can see from the center field camera, we can display the velocity, and we've seen 94 a couple of times from Lynn. But his ball moves. You can understand, I think, even from the center field camera, you can see why he's been a successful big league pitcher. Now, in that case, pitched one down and away from McCann, and he just hit it off the end of the bat for a single. Here's J.D. Davis. Right there, you could see it. It looked like it was going right down the heart of the plate and ended up down and in the strike zone for strike 1.
He needs to keep it down right here, get some movement down, maybe get a double play. Davis quick of foot. In his second season with the Astros, he came up last year back in early August. Just 24 years old.
Backhanded by Castro. 1-1. 33 pitches and 17 strikes.
Kind of saw it in that Pittsburgh game that he just kind of was fighting himself to get that ball over the plate. And it looks like he has that same issue here tonight.
2-1.
They missed with a breaking ball there. That was first ball game, 95 pitches into 4 innings. 51 over the plate.
3-1. Got in on the handle of the bat for a foul. 3-2.
If you're a hitter right here like Davis, you've seen Lynn struggle with his breaking ball. Lynn can get a good fastball down.
Full count. Don't expect the runners to go here with nobody out. And a strikeout, his 3rd of the ball game.
Well, he needed an out right here, and he went to that fastball down in the strike zone. So you see a little sink on it right there, and Davis swings through it.
And now Marisnik with 2 on and 1 out. Marisnik in center. We'll see Springer out there, I would guess, maybe as soon as tomorrow. Springer DHing tonight.
Well, you got a catcher behind the plate too, and Castro, that played with a lot of these guys. So 6 seasons Jason Castro caught for the Astros. He knows these guys. Got to rely on him calling the game.
Manfred Castro takes another foul tip, I think, and he'll run the ball out to the mound, and this will not count as a mound visit, I don't believe, because the catcher took a foul tip. We'll see whether Chad Fairchild calls this a mound visit.
Well, he's writing something down.
And I believe he is going to charge a mound visit. There's one. So for some reason, Castro maybe to make sure about the signs. Yeah, right.
We've seen this too many times already, where the pitchers and Castro have not had the right, they're not on the same page with the runner at second base. If that was a cross up.
And a strike on the outside corner, and it's 0-2 to Marisnik.
Marisnik in his 5th season with the Astros. First came to the big leagues with the Florida Marlins. 16 home runs last year for the Astros.
Another strikeout for Lance Lynn. He's recorded 5 outs, 4 of them on strikeouts.
A good fastball away right there. So a breaking ball for strike 1, and then a good 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Back-to-back fastballs to strike out Marisnik.
And now the number 9 batter, Derek Fisher. High fastball gets him.
Fisher just 24 years old. Astros #1 pick in 2014. A lot of #1 picks on their ball club. Played his college ball out of the University of Virginia.
You get a lot of those high draft picks when you lose 100 ball games 3 years in a row.
Saw that with the Tampa Bay Rays.
1 strike to Fisher. smothered by Castro. Really nice job there. Breaking ball in the dirt, 1-1. Because Lynn signed late, because this is his first year with the Twins, he and Castro haven't had the full routine of that a catcher and pitcher might have through spring training. But cross-ups or not, pitcher's job is to throw it over the plate more often than Lynn had.
Well, you talk about each hitter before the ball game, you go over it and then you adjust to the stuff you have.
2-1.
See the movement on that 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Good pitch, but just low. Lynn has good credentials coming here to Minnesota. Look at the movement right there. 72 major league wins, only 48 losses, an ERA of 3.41.
2-1. 2-2. When I talked with Lynn about his start against the Pirates, he said, you know, his ball was jumping all over the place out of the strike zone. And I think we've seen that a little bit here, too. It's good to have movement, but if you can't control it, then it almost becomes a detriment.
It could be, you know, he's not going to say it was a cold weather, but it could have an effect on just a location of the release point because of the numbness you get when you're out there pitching in this type of weather.
Of course, the longer you're out there, the more numb your fingers get, and you're out there longer when you're walking people.
Yeah, too many pitches already.
2-2. And up high, another 3-ball count, and with 2 outs this time, the runners will take off.
You can see 45 pitches already, 22 in the first. It's 5 3-ball counts.
Full count with runners at first and second and 2 down. Fifth strikeout for Lance Lynn. He has struck out 3 swinging and 2 looking, and he struck out the side after the first 2 men reached in the second. University of Minnesota night, Friday, April 27th at Target Field. A limited number of U of M theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and maroon and gold Twins cap. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/U of M or call 800-33-TWINS. I'll have to remember to wear my University of Minnesota cufflinks that I've got. And a teeth chattering night. It's nice to have somebody with some dentistry background. Fouled back off the bat of Logan Morrison. He'll be followed by Eduardo Escobar and Max Kepler. Morrison trying to get untracked. Just one hit and 19 at bats. One strike from Verlander to Morrison. And 0-2.
Morrison 2 hits and 5 at bats. You see Lynn right there looking at the middle finger. Maybe a blister.
I think I saw him do that a couple of times while he was out there on the mound, like it was bothering him right away. Inside 1 and 2.
See the shift put on by Morrison.
They did this in spring training against Logan Morrison. They have 4 outfielders and 3 infielders on the right side. So a curious defensive arrangement here with 2 strikes on Morrison. The count is 1-2. And he strikes him out. 1 down in the second.
It looked like the curveball right there. Verlander picking up his second strikeout. Yeah, that more the curveball. They say he's improved his slider. Now he's a guy that has 4 quality pitches. Taking a little off. Great spot.
1 down. Here's Escobar. Popped up. It will be near the tarp and just barely out of the reach of the left fielder Gonzalez. We told you about Verlander. 12 starts. This is number 13 in a Houston uniform, and he's only taken 1 loss. Paul Molitor said today that Verlander, for a couple of years, and this was a couple of years ago, he seemed human. Teams would have a chance against him, but he has revitalized. He's caught a second wind, if you will, and it started before the trade. Paul Molitor noticed it while he was still with the Tigers, that the last couple of years it's almost like he's back in his prime. And what we've noticed, and we may saw a small glimpse of it in the first inning, he's operating at whatever until there's somebody in scoring position, and he still has that ability to make his best pitches and reach back for a little extra.
Well, you can see throughout his career
the velocity's come back. 2 strikes to Escobar, and he dribbles on the foul.
Well, he won the Cy Young Award in 2011. 6-time All-Star Justin Verlander. ...189 wins in his career, 114 losses. Making his 388th Major League start. Almost 2,600 innings pitched.
Popped up, back and out of play. Of course, it was sarcasm when we said, hey, the Twins will miss the 2 best Houston starters so far this year, Garrett Cole and Charlie Morton. They've combined for 26 innings and given up 1 run. They will have to face Verlander, Keuchel, and McCullers. The rotation for the Astros has pitched to an ERA of 1.83. Is it any wonder that they are 8-2? Big pop-up near second base. And Bregman makes the catch. 2 down. That'll bring up Max Kepler. Twins had a pretty good couple of years against Verlander. Now this is back about 10 years ago, from 07 to the end of the 09 season. The Twins were pretty good back then. The Tigers weren't, but they beat Verlander 5 times in 6 decisions. Swing and a miss, 1 strike.
He's a workhorse. You know, and if you're pitching against Verlander like Lynn, you cannot make a mistake because you know it's going to be a good ball game.
Kepler takes up and away.
And Verlander, one of those guys that you throw out the 100 pitch count. He'll average 115 to 130 pitches. If he goes deep into the ball game.
The rate he's going, 115 pitches, might take him through the 12th inning. 1-1. High and tight. Well, Lynn back on the bench, doesn't appear to be any worse for the wear. Don't even know whether he had anything, any attention paid to what might be a blister issue around the nail. 2-1. Kepler with a good swing and a foul straight back. You ever have any blister issues?
Yes, I did. I used to sit between innings and actually underneath the nail, just kind of get the, I guess, the little buildup that would come during a ball game. The friction of the baseball onto your nail.
2-2.
Pickle juice was the best remedy for that.
Swing and a miss on a breaking ball. Kepler strikes out. A couple of strikeouts in a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Verlander. And Jose Altuve will hit in the 3rd inning for Houston. Score as we go to the 3rd inning. When you combine the most provocative man in sports with the most interesting man in sports, you get opinion that cuts through the hype. Catch Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock, weekdays at 4 p.m. Central, only on FS1. Which hat did you prefer? I had the fur hat the other day, and then I wore my Filson wool fleece hat today.
Do I have to pick?
Well, I mean, they're both nice, warm hats. Which one would you wear? Swing and a miss.
Do you see what hat I'm wearing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
It's a free stocking hat.
Yes.
And that's what you're wearing.
It's covered my ears. That's all that matters.
Springer with a swing and a miss. He struck out looking his first time up, and Lynn misses the inside corner 1-1. He'd like to get through an inning without issuing a walk. He had a 3-walk inning in his first inning in Pittsburgh, and then single walks for his final 3 innings there, and his first 2 here. Inside, and it's 2-1.
Well, see, I have this stocking hat on. I have the Twins logo. So
right.
Thank you very much, Twins, for supplying.
Well, that's the Twins fantasy camp.
Right.
So you got that hat free. That's why you're wearing it.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with
And
that.
the fans got those hats, I think, free.
For free.
Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2.
So you actually paid for those 2 hats?
Yes, I did. They're very nice, warm hats.
Elmer Fudd a little bit. today.
That hat that I have, and I may bring the other one tomorrow. I've got a hunter green version of that too.
Well, see, I live in Florida, so I don't really need these that often.
Right.
You need them.
Roller wide of the bag, a foul ball. That was close to hitting the bag. And Sano fires it wildly across, but a foul ball. Then I've got a buffalo plaid hat like the one I wore tonight, and I look a lot like, get a look at this ball rolling just wide of the third base bag.
I'm sure Miguel right there, once he let this ball go, he hears that it's foul. Just go ahead and try to make the play.
And a warm-up toss.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea on a night like this. See the buffalo plaid hat I had, and I look a lot like Floyd R. Turbo. You remember Johnny Carson's character that had come out?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No.
That's right. Johnny came out at 10:30, and by then you were already in bed.
Already in bed, yeah.
Fouled away. 2-2.
Is he still on, Johnny Carson?
Reruns. Reruns. Two and two with Lynn just struggling again here, hoping not to fill the count here. He's struck out 5, but walked 2. Pitch number 53. Strikeout number 6. This is looking like the Astro team of a few years ago that set the record for strikeouts. One of the reasons they won the World Series, they've not been doing a lot of this lately.
Well, just an overpowering fastball past the swinging Springer. So Springer striking out for the second time. Called a third strike, his first at bat. And this time he goes down swinging.
One down. And Alex Bregman drew a walk.
So strict 6 strikeouts for Lance Lynn so far.
Slow breaking ball, and he gets a called strike with it. That's an important pitch for Lynn, who struggled with his off-speed stuff. A slower breaking ball, bending over to get ahead of the hitter. And another breaking ball wide. Nice for Lynn to have a 1-2-3 inning and have an inning where he's pitching from the windup the full time. Pitches up 2-1. Now 2-2. We talked about the Astros series here last year, and it was a bludgeoning. 1-3. Twins outscored 40-16. Then the Twins had the first of a couple pivotal parts of the season. We know about early August. After the trading deadline, the Twins caught fire, won 20 games in August, ended up getting to the playoffs. But there was an earlier pivotal point of the season, and it came right after the embarrassing 3 games here against Houston. Popped up center field. Buxton retreating, and in the gap makes the catch 2 away. Time for our AARP take of today, with Altuve coming to the plate, and unfortunately for him, he's nowhere as close to being retired.
You can see how he has, since 2016, what his road average is, hitting .383.
On the road. 2 down, and now Altuve will bat with the bases empty. Anyway, when the Astros beat up the Twins and won all 3 games, especially given what happened the year before when the Twins lost 103, you couldn't be blamed if you thought, uh-oh, here we go again. And the Twins went out on the West Coast, took on the Angels and the Giants and the Mariners, and they won 6 out of 9, and that helped right the ship. Splintered bat and a roller that Escobar overruns. Altuve will reach on a 2-out broken bat hit, with most of the bat ending up well over the Houston dugout.
Yeah, thank goodness everybody's okay, but it just gets sawed off. See Altuve.
Got in his kitchen, and that couldn't have felt good, but he got a base hit anyway.
He's so quick a foot that Escobar knows he's got to come in and almost on the run make the play. You see the barrel of the bat.
So it won't be a 1-2-3 inning for Lynn. He really jams Altuve, but Altuve gets a base hit, and now here's Correa. High fastball and a foul back. Correa went down swinging his first time up. And taken low, and it's 1-1. Of course, at spring training, had a chance to spend some time with Alex Cora, who's the new Boston manager and was the Houston bench coach, and he remarked about the difference he saw between what the Twins displayed here in late May and what they showed the Astros in July in Houston. Inside now 2-1. Cora said, boy, the first time we played the Twins last year in Minnesota, it didn't look good at all. And they only won one game in Houston, but the Twins looked far more competitive in Houston in July than they did here in late May. 2-1. Fouled away, 2-2. This is simply a matchup, this three-game series between two teams that should be pretty good this year. Houston, perhaps even a heavy favorite to return to the World Series given their youth and their talent. And the Twins hope to have something to say about that come October. Three and two, and with 2 outs, Altuve will take off.
Yeah, you can see the pitch count right there. Lynn, 65 pitches, trying to get the final out here in the third. 6 3-ball counts.
Altuve goes half swing, but he went. And Correa barks at Chad Fairchild, who said, no, sir, you went. Lynn has another strikeout, 7 already in the game through 2.5 innings. Houston Astros starters have done a great job putting up a lot of zeros, and that's our Dairy Queen combination.
Combined 5-2 with that 1.83 ERA are their starters. First in innings pitched, strikeouts, ERA second, wins tied for second. See, opponent's batting average only a .218.
Buxton, Castro, and Dozier here in the Twins' third. Put away ball one. Earlier we told you there were a stretch of games where Verlander, the Twins had some success against him. In the midst of all of that, the Twins had Carlos Gomez, who would bunt on Verlander and seemingly get under his skin. Now that was 10 years ago. Verlander's matured an awful lot. But we'll be curious to see whether Buxton, not necessarily on this 2-0 pitch, but whether over the course of the at-bats here tonight, whether Buxton or maybe some other Twin tries to bunt on him. Fastball on the outside corner. See, now that's 93. And what we've seen from Verlander the last couple of years, runner at third, one out, and suddenly 96 reappears. What a blessing that must be to have that in the tank to reach back for it when you need it. A high pop up near the Houston dugout. And out of play.
Yeah, a lot of baseball people say Bob Gibson was the best at that. You know, he'd pitch at 92, 93, but when he needed that little extra, it was in the tank, and Verlander, that type of pitcher.
And in Gibson's case, not just the velocity, but the sharpness on the slider.
You gotta get the pen.
Sights and scents in the concourse here at Target Field. 2-2 to Buxton. To the right side, and Verlander can't waste any time, and he knows it. He makes the play, one down.
Yeah, one thing about Verlander is that he has been on a disabled list only one time in the 14 years he's pitched in the big leagues. You see him hustle over there and quickly tagging the bag before the speedy Buxton can get to first base.
Here is Castro, and we mentioned earlier it was good to see Jason in the starting lineup. Late in the ball game on Saturday, very late in the 9th inning, in fact, he reached for a pitch that was high, and it looked like he tweaked something, and in fact he did. Castro a few years ago had surgery on his right knee, and as he from the squatting position had to lunge after a pitch that was over his head standing up, something was tweaked in that right knee, but he said the off day yesterday did it some good, and he feels 100% today. Don't know if he would have been able to play yesterday. Check swing, and it's 1-1.
Well, we talked about some of the Astros that are #1 picks that are on the field for the Astros. Well, Castro, a #1 pick by the Houston Astros back in 2008 out of Stanford. Came up with the Astros at 210, spent 6 seasons in an Astro uniform.
2-1. Castro with just 1 hit, but it was a home run to center field in Baltimore. And now 3-1, and it's first 3-ball count, I believe, for Verlander on the night.
Always good control. 2.7 walks per 9 innings, 8.6 strikeouts per 9 innings in his career.
Second walk or second 3-ball count for Verlander, and a foul. 3-2. Just nice to see clear skies. I know it's cold and whatever it is, 33 degrees, but it's just nice to see the sky opening up and no precipitation falling. Three and 2 to Jason Castro. Foul. And the Astros again yesterday were complaining about the 52 degrees they had yesterday in Houston. And the roof closed. It was 68. All the time they spent in Florida. Then they spent the first week and a half in Texas. Now they come to the frozen tundra of Minnesota. Called third strike, and Verlander comes back to fan Castro.
And strikeout number 4 for Verlander. So a lot of strikeouts here by both clubs. Lynn with 7. Now Verlander with 4. Fastball down. A little tail on that at 95.
So the movement that we talked about with Lynn, Verlander's got that too. Call that a right hip two-seamer that starts at the left-handed batter's right hip and then darts over the inside corner. Ball 1 to Dozier. Bounce to third his first time up. Indians behind Corey Kluber shut out the Tigers and Francisco Liriano 2-0 tonight. Fouled away. One and one to Dozier. Verlander had to sign off on the trade from Detroit to Houston, and he waited literally until the last minute. As a 10-5 guy, he had the option of declining the trade and finally said, oh, okay. But the way the story goes, the league was notified within seconds of the deadline passing. And I think it's worked out awfully well for both him and the Astros. 2-1. That's to center. And Marisnick is there for the catch. Twins have a double with 1 out in the first, and since then, Verlander set down 8 men in a row. BuyFordNow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Bundled up and enjoying a scoreless duel, you can watch every out-of-market regular season game live at home in the office or on the go with MLB.TV. Your subscription includes MLB at Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout, other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. We, of course, were weathered out yesterday, and it gave me and a lot of other people, I'm sure, the opportunity to do something we don't get a chance to do very often. Watch the final round of the Masters, and I was torn yesterday. And I did watch a little bit of the Masters, but I spent most of my free afternoon watching on MLB.TV Shohei Ohtani. And I've not seen anybody dominate a lineup like Ohtani did Oakland yesterday in a long time.
Boy, he's got a nasty splitter.
But what impressed me the most, I mean, the guy can throw 100 miles per hour. He was throwing 98 and 99 miles per hour on the black and getting ahead of hitters. And the hitters are trying to gear up for this upper 90s heat and just flailing away at the splitter. It was just a dominant performance. And he came close to having a perfect game. Swing and a miss, and it's 2-2. So, you know, people excited about the 18 at-bats and the 3 home runs. But my goodness, if anybody within the division is going to take a run at Houston in the American League West, it might be the Angels, because it looks like they've got an ace. 2-2 from Lynn to Gonzalez and McCann and Davis. And another 3-ball count. Lynn got through the 3rd inning without walking anyone. He did give up a 2-out busted bat hit. Two hits for the Astros, and neither one has been hit sharply. McCann hit one right off the end of the bat and just hit a soft serve single to left. And now 3-2 to Gonzalez. Mauer with a great pick. He'll take it himself. We talked about Buxton at the top of the show and all the hardware he won, and it's just a shame in my mind that Mauer didn't win a Gold Glove to go with the 3 he got behind the plate.
Well, you know, your pitcher's out there throwing a lot of pitches. You have to be ready defensively, and Joe was right there. Nice little pick on that ball off the bat at Gonzalez. A one-hopper coming up, and Joe himself hustling over there to get the first out. Nice defensive play.
McCann will bat. Hit the first pitch he saw, tailing fastball, and just chipped it into left field. And now Lynn misses outside, ball 1. And now inside 2-0. Might have the softest backhand glove in the league. Made a nice play on that smash on the backhand side. We've seen him scoop out throws that are low on the backhand side. Now 3-0 from Lynn to McCann.
I see a little glow right there by Joe's. They're saying had a little Vaseline on his face to keep himself warm.
Ah. There's a strike. It was Kevin Kiermaier threatened to do that, put Vaseline all over his body wherever the Rays were playing when it was cold.
I played with Gaylord Perry. He did the same thing.
In the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now a walk. The 3rd issued by Lynn here tonight. And that'll bring up J.D. Davis.
Yeah, that was reported by Marty Gellner that got up here to the booth. So, Marty, thank you.
I remember years and years ago, the Cincinnati Bengals had a good football team, and they had an AFC championship game, I believe it was. And Forrest Gregg was their coach back then, and there was a big shot on the sideline of Forrest Gregg having Vaseline put all over his face. Something I'll bet you his coach, Vince Lombardi, never did. I can't imagine Vince Lombardi doing that. Taken low, ball 1 to Davis. One and 0. And an excuse me hack, a dribbler foul, 1-1. There have been 5 balls put in play, and Lynn's about to throw his 80th pitch. Justin Verlander's thrown about half as many pitches as Lynn, just 42 in the ball game. buzzed him right around the hands. High fastball, swing and a miss. Two and two to J.D. Davis. Got him. A called third strike. Took a little bit off the fastball. Might have been a slider, and another strikeout for Lance Lynn.
Like another fastball down, and Davis. The 8th strikeout for Lance Lynn.
We've seen Lynn at 93, 94. That was 90, but had a little extra sink on it. Here's Marisnick. Marisnick went down swinging his first time. Swing and a miss, 1 strike. Well, it's still above freezing. I've got the temperature right now at 33. Feels like 25. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
And Marisnick late on those fastballs.
Which would mean you'd
keep pumping them.
Oh, 2. Check swing. 1-2.
Lynn's career high in strikeouts came in 2012 when he was with the Cardinals against the White Sox. And that was a career high 12 strikeouts. He has 8 so far here tonight.
Got a piece of that one, fouling it to the screen. Pitch count climbing for Lynn. He's open to get through 4th inning to be sure, but the Twins have some activity going in the bullpen. Fouled back. It's kind of a curious dynamic here on Saturday. There's Ryan Presley just starting to get loose, but we had some relievers out in the bullpen and some of them in the batting cage getting loose. It was kind of hard for us to tell. Both teams had that privilege. It's hard to tell for us to tell who was ready to come into a ball game.
Yeah, and then as the game went on, more guys went out to the bullpen. I think they probably felt pretty uncomfortable warming up, you know, underneath.
Everybody's a creature of habit to some degree. 1-2. Breaking ball, 2-2. I'm guessing, and I don't know this, but I'm guessing if Lynn can get through this inning, that's going to be it for him. He's rapidly approaching 100 pitches, and he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't given up a well-hit ball at all yet. The smash off the bat of Gonzalez is the best struck ball here tonight. 2-2. Slowly hit. Sano charges, scoops, can't get the ball out of his glove, and it'll be another scratch hit for the Astros. Their 3rd hit and the 2nd nubber for a base hit.
Altuve had a broken bat infield base hit last inning, and here's another infield base hit. Sano comes in, open glove, and then in the exchange just can't get a grip on that baseball. So McCann moving over to second base.
And now the number 9 batter Derek Fisher called out on strikes, his first time up. wins in games like this are born out of opportunities like this, whether they come in the 4th inning or the 9th inning. You catch a couple of breaks along the way and somebody gets a scratch hit, and now you've got a run, maybe the only run of the game. Pulled to Mauer. A pretty well hit ball for the 3rd out. 4 shutout innings for Lance Lynn, and we're scoreless going to the bottom of the 4th.
Facing Justin Verlander and already hit a double in the 1st inning. Mauer came into tonight having gone against Verlander in 77 career at-bats. He has a .325 lifetime average, too, against him. And I asked Joe about facing someone so many times and over so many years. And Joe said, really, to see Verlander's evolution as a pitcher has been fun, and then he said, and other times not so fun, but he said it isn't not easy to play at this level for that amount of time, and I really appreciate that about him. And that's kind of ironic hearing Joe say that about Justin Verlander, because that's exactly, guys, what Joe Mauer has managed to do, stay at this level for that amount of time.
And Marty, great information there. Mauer threatening to bunt, and earlier we talked about Verlander, who kind of seemed to come down. His numbers were down, the velocity was down, the effectiveness was down, and he caught a bit of a second wind the last couple of years, and we might be in the midst of seeing that from Joe.
Yep.
1-0. And now a strike. And
yeah, they faced each other a lot.
When the Twins were good and the Tigers weren't, when the Tigers were and the Twins weren't. Verlander's changed teams and Mauer has not. Swing and a miss as he tried to turn one around and pull the ball. His double went to his favorite spot on the field this year. And it'll be a little of a bit of a delay here as Chad Fairchild was on the receiving end of that foul tip. Third base umpire Bruce Dreckman comes in. Right off the mask. Matt Biancuso, one of the new assistant trainers for the Twins, is out there as well. Can't see Matt. He's in the Twins jacket there, but he's making sure that Chad Fairchild is going to be able to continue. There's Matt. Well, we're such a secretive society now. Matt has to cover his mouth because we can't we can't know what the trainer is saying to the umpire. Bring your skates and join Fox Sports North at Tria Rink, the Minnesota Wild's practice facility, when the Wild host a rally to kick off their playoff run Wednesday from 11:30 to 1:30. Wes Walls and Rusty Kath kick off the festivities with the first 250 fans enjoying a free lunch, followed by an hour of opening skating. Fox Sports North will be there with giveaways and prizes. Plus, pick up your "This Is Our Ice" playoff yard sign during the event. Visit foxsportsnorth.com/events for details. Now 1-2 to Maurer after the delay, and 2-2. Well, they got free lunch, so you'll be there, won't you?
No, I won't be there. I was going to ask you. You ever skate?
Yeah, I could skate.
You can skate?
I could skate, probably still could now, backwards a little bit.
Yeah.
I've
been on ice skates one time, I think.
Really?
I got tired of picking myself up.
Well, don't fall down. 2-2. And now 3-2 with Sano on deck. Again, ice skating, I told you this the other day. One of those things Minnesotans invented in the wintertime. We invented all the wintertime activities, including ice skating.
I was going to say, you know what, you face a guy like Verlander, Maurer, you know, as a pitcher too, you face him so many times. Sometimes you have to try to change things up. And here's a 3-2 pitch.
Checked his swing, and it's ball 4.
Yeah, the last 3 pitches he tried that slider down and in, and Joe laid off of it. Then he laid off that 3-2 slider.
It was a breaking pitch that struck out the next batter, Miguel Sano, on 3-2.
So Verlander walking his first batter of the ball game. And Maurer's been the only base runner so far.
Here is Sano, worked the count full, struck out on a breaking ball with Maurer at second and 1 out. Sano was the second out, obviously. Outside, ball 1.
Stop a little bit. Go.
To beat a great pitcher like Verlander, you need to do what Lance Lynn, is inefficient as he's been, what he's done. Put up zeros.
Yep.
As tough as he is, he's very tough with a lead. And so far, he hasn't been given one. We'll see if the Twins can break out on top here in the 4th. There's a breaking ball and a strike, 1-1.
I said he's got 4 quality pitches. Sometimes as a hitter, you have to almost guess what he might be throwing. And that looked like a breaking ball that just kind of hung right there. And Sano maybe looking for something else. So 50 pitches for Verlander. 32 have been strikes.
1-1. 2-1 with McCann digging it out of the dirt. You can understand why Paul Molitor said that this guy's kind of caught a second wind. Look at what the Twins have done offensively against Verlander in the last 3 years.
You go back to 2010 again, 12-2 and 19 starts against the Twins. He's been an ace his whole career.
2-1, and Maurer checked. That's the one good thing about the trade from a Twins perspective. At most, you'll face Verlander twice in one season. When he was with the Tigers, you could have faced him as many as 6 times. That's not an insignificant difference. Sano fouls it back. It's another example, too, Verlander is, of all the talent that has left this division in recent years. We've talked about it before, the rotation. I guess he headlined it, but it was him, Scherzer, Porcello, who won an ERA title, was a 20-game winner.
Anibal Sanchez,
an ERA winner.
Yep.
And Doug Fister.
Yep.
That was their 5. And a lot of people in baseball are saying this starting 5 for the Astros right now might be one of the best in history. Chris Sale's out of the division. JD Martinez. Full count to Sano. See what he gets this time on 3-2. Fastball burned him on the outside corner. A perfect spot for a 95-mile-per-hour fastball.
And strikeout number 5 for Verlander.
Wow.
Hardest pitch to hit in baseball. Verlander has always had control of that.
And now Rosario hit a ground ball to second his first time up. At the knee, strike one. Up and away, 1-1. Cold walk down the concourse in front of our press box here.
What a beautiful view we have. Saw it right there.
1-1 to Rosario. And chased a little bit, looked like, to 1-2. One and two to Rosario. No one warming up in the bullpen. Looks like Lynn will get an opportunity to start the fifth. And Rosario hacks it left side of the infield. Bregman with a low throw. They force Mauer. But Bregman's throw to Correa gets only the one out at second base.
Yeah, it would have been a tough double play, I believe, but Bregman, that is Bregman behind that, makes a play. And again, cold night to throw a little bit on the infield side.
Yep.
And Correa making sure he gets one. Rosario hustling down the line, but the second out is recorded.
And now Morrison is struck out swinging his first time up. Twins have a little bit better speed at first with Rosario than they had with Mauer. We'll see if Morrison can find a gap someplace. With less than two strikes, the Astros are playing a conventional shift rather than the four-man outfield they had when Morrison was up the first time, leading off the inning.
How about one over that U.S. Bank sign out in right field? Top of your screen. Into those seats up there.
And a quicker toss over to first, but Rosario's back. Everybody shifts now, and nobody shifts more than the Astros do, with the possible exception of the Rays, at least in the American League. Inside, and McCann can't find it. Now Rosario hung up between first and second, but he's able to get back. I don't know whether the ball didn't hit home plate umpire Chad Fairchild. Rosario took off but then stopped.
Well, that's a nice stop right there by McCann as the ball gets away from him, and good effort right here by Rosario. He saw the ball get away, but then alertly scooted back to first base.
McCann came about 6 inches from hitting Verlander in the head with his throw. One and 0 to Logan Morrison. And that one gets away, and Rosario will advance on a wild pitch. So 2 in a row down in the dirt by Verlander, and the Twins get a runner to second base.
Yeah, back-to-back breaking balls, and this time McCann unable to hold this one in front of him. And Verlander's first wild pitch of the year allows Rosario to get in scoring position.
Now Bregman closer to the line, and there's a huge hole between he and the shortstop Correa's on the right side of the infield. We'll see if the Twins can get the first run of the game, maybe with Morrison punching one through the shift. Takes low, and it's 3-0. Escobar on deck and McCann to the mound. They're going to use a mound visit here. No hits in the inning, just the opening walk, and Verlander's having his most difficult time tonight throwing strikes. As much as Morrison has struggled, you would think he'd get green lighted here on 3-0. Twins have a 400 hitter and Escobar on deck. And Morrison uncoils and fouls it straight back.
Wow. Make solid contact right there. That ball would go over that U.S. Bank sign. Whoa, good swing. Let it fly.
Hey, sir, come on.
A well-timed swing. Contact made in front of the plate. He just fouled it straight back. 3-1. And Rosario back to the bag. Rosario scampers off of second base. Verlander pays him no mind. Little chip shot behind third. Bregman is back, and he makes the catch. A fair ball catch. And Rosario's left at second. On to the fifth, no score. Of the world, even though that looks like a smallmouth bass there. Lake of the Woods is where you can have a panoramic view of the waters and forests by day and the Milky Way and Northern Lights by night. Northwest Angle is located on the northern side of the Lake of the Woods, also known as Minnesota's Chimney when viewing a map. The area is 79% water, frozen right now, and it's also the northernmost point of the contiguous 48 states and can only be accessed by water or via Canada on land. Talk about the Astros and all the shifting that they do. Then there's the shifting within the shift, and they just brilliantly reshifted once Rosario got to second base, because in the shift they had earlier in the Morrison at bat, that pop fly would have dropped for a base hit.
And, you know, Bregman had to move over in case Rosario tried to go to third, so that kind of put him in a good position.
High fly right field, harmless enough towards Kepler. And Lynn's out there to start the fifth, and he gets a quick first out. So you can see where they were once Rosario got to second base.
Yeah, Bregman was more, you know, I mean, he was more towards short, and then a little pop up right there. Bregman, he's the only one that can catch this, and he does for the final out.
One down, and now Alex Bregman. He's walked and hit a fly ball to Buxton in center. And Lynn hoping to finish strongly here. He got all the strikeouts, 8 of them in the game, and no solid contact at all. A couple of hot ground balls in the fourth. Trying to complete the fifth inning with the pitch count climbing towards 100. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, 4 1/3 innings, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. 2 of the 3 hits, infield hits. The other one off the end of the bat by McCann in the second inning. Little flare to left.
Up high. Seen Lynn blow into his hand. What we haven't seen the last couple innings that we saw in the first couple was him picking at his nail like there might have been a blister forming or something. So whatever the issue was doesn't seem to be an issue now. Outside 2-2. Now Taylor Rogers warming up. Earlier we saw Ryan Presley, and just, I guess you'd call that soft tossing for a reliever. He maybe is just trying to warm up. But the pitch count is climbing towards 100. Fouled away. Strike percentage, while not great, is at least on the right side of the ledger. 55 strikes, or 54 strikes I should say. And now a block, and it's 3-2. Altuve a right-handed batter, Correa a right-handed batter. We've got a lefty, Rogers, warming up.
Yeah, 9 3-ball counts for Lynn in this ball game. Counts for the high pitch count.
And he missed down and away. 4th walk issued by Lynn, and that'll bring Altuve to the plate with a man aboard. Got ahead of him and lost him. Irvin Alston encouraging Lynn to try to fight through the 5th inning here. Altuve with a busted bat single his last time up, and a fly ball to center. On the outside corner, a strike, and Altuve don't think agreed with that.
Wait, look at Altuve at the plate. They list him at 5'6", about 165 pounds. A lot of energy in this young man right here.
And back at first, diving safely is Bregman. Castro with a long look into the Twins dugout, and if the Twins feel like Bregman's going to be taking off here, something you don't see very often anymore, a pitch out. Maybe another throw over. And they did throw over. What happened to the pitch out? You just don't see that much anymore.
No.
And he's not looking into the dugout for pitch selection. It's what the bench, the manager, wants the pitcher to do. Throw to first, throw to the plate. Up high, and it's 1-1. Bregman goes. Castro's throw on the strike, right on the money. A perfect throw from Jason Castro.
Well, great throw by Castro. Also credit Lynn on utilizing that slide step to get the ball quick to home plate. So Bregman, who thinks he can steal second right here, a quick release by Castro, a perfect one-hop throw to Dozier.
Castro didn't need a pitch out at all, did he?
Perfect throw.
Base is empty, 1-2 to Altuve. And Bregman with a barrel roll into second base. One and two to Altuve. .56 strikes among the 103 pitches thrown by Lynn. And now 3-2, just wide of the plate. I don't know, 3-2. That's kind of a neutral count. And Altuve took one right down the middle. 9 strikeouts for Lance Lynn, 4 walks, and 5 shutout innings. National Guard, Mall of America celebrate the month of the military child, and we're encouraging military families to submit a photo depicting what it's like for your child to be in a military family. For more details on how to submit your photo, visit foxsportsnorth.com/events. Verlander still out there for the Astros. Escobar, Kepler, and Buxton will hit against him in the 5th.
Verlander 63 pitches, 4 shutout innings, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He's given up only 1 hit. Joe Mauer's double in the 1st.
Over the inside corner, strike one to Escobar, who popped up to Bregman his first time up. And the ball 1-1. Big swing and a miss. 1-2. And a 2-2.
All fastballs so far to Escobar.
Verlander issued a leadoff walk in the fourth. Twins got a runner as far as second base. 2-2 to Escobar. Big pop up straight back. And I thought fantasy camp director Stan Dickman was going to show some range there.
We got a bunch of fantasy campers sitting down there. It was Kent Herbeck, Tim Laudner also down there a little while ago. There's no way they would have caught that ball.
If they can't catch him in January when it's 80 degrees, they're not going to catch him tonight when it's 30.
No chance.
2-2 to Escobar again from Verlander. Up high, 3-2. Kepler on deck. Hooked foul. Texas two-step over there by Jeff Smith.
Yeah, 7-pitch at bat so far. All fastballs. That is Jeff Smith there, we think.
It's hard to tell. I mean, it really is.
We know it is.
It could be Kent Herbeck for all we know. Escobar takes a called third strike. He thought it was ball 4. One down in the fifth. Where was it? Escobar thought it was inside and or low.
Well, let's take a look at the pitch right here. Straight over the top. Oh boy. I think he thought it was inside. And it looked like it was, but Verlander picking up his 6th strikeout.
Here's Kepler, went down swinging his first time up. Swing and a miss and an awkward swing at that. Swing and a foul back. You know, as cold as it is, and being from this area, if you go outside, you put a few more layers on. The difference is these baseball players, whether it's a pitcher, and we've seen most of them with short sleeves. Let's use Kepler, for instance. He can put on 2 or 3 Under Armour garments or whatever, but that binds his swing up. It's hard. There's a reason most of these games are played in very low-scoring fashion. And I particularly noticed it with Logan Morrison. I mean, Logan, his swing just looks so long now because in part he's all bundled up.
Yeah, but you know, the gear that they put on today is so thin that can, you know, I think back when, of course, they had more wool type shirts. Wow.
He missed up high, and it's 2-2. Sano, I think, hoping for another chance against Verlander. Verlander struck him out twice tonight. Kepler takes outside, and Verlander again runs the count full. Only one walk so far. That was Mauer leading off the fourth.
Hey, missed with a couple breaking balls right there to get the count to 3-2.
And time called. Strike three. A breaking ball. 2 down in the fifth. The Cubs and the White Sox were both supposed to play in Chicago this afternoon, but they got snow. The swath of snow that hit this area intensified by the time it got to Chicago. They banged the game. They postponed it at Wrigley Field. And despite all the snow that was on the south side, Roger Bossert, the sod father, the dean of groundskeepers in the major leagues, got the field ready and they played a game. Buxton skies it to right on the first pitch, and Fisher comes in to make the catch. Verlander goes 1, 2, 3 in the fifth, and we head to the sixth scoreless. To start the game Wednesday. Now the earliest that might happen is Friday. That's our Sanford Health injury report. Phil, of course, tweaked an oblique late in spring training and has been down in Fort Myers. One of the complications here, Bert and fans, is Rochester has had a tough time getting their games in.
Yeah.
So I don't know beyond Phil Hughes who the other candidates might be. There were you might otherwise think, well, Tyler Duffy, somebody who's got some big league experience, but the Red Wings were weathered out of all 3 games over the weekend. Taylor Rogers comes in to pitch to the Astros in the 6th.
Yeah, Lance Lynn, of course, the first 5 innings, shutout baseball. Now it's up to Taylor Rogers to keep the zeros coming, making his 4th relief appearance.
Outside ball 1. Middle of the Houston lineup, Correa, Gonzalez, and McCann here in the 6th. Line into the right field corner, a base hit. Correa will round first, dig for second, and he's got an opening double here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, Correa got a fastball away and just shot it down that right field corner, just out of the reach of Joe Mauer. And Kepler has to retrieve it in that corner and get it back in for Correa, his 4th double of the year. First extra base hit for the Astros on their 4th hit.
When the Astros beat up the Twins last year here, a lot of the carnage was done at the expense of Twins relievers. So Twins are hoping that certainly isn't the case again this year. Correa aboard with a leadoff double, and now Marwin Gonzalez. Outside ball one.
Gonzalez, as I mentioned before, the only switch hitter for the Houston Astros. Now hitting as a right-handed hitter against the lefty Rogers. Sano about even with the grass at third base.
And a strike call with a breaking ball, and walking away in disgust is Marwin Gonzalez. Cut off by Sano. He looks the runner back and fires to first, one down. So one away, and now McCann will bat.
Yeah, Gonzalez not doing the job, getting that runner from second over to third.
Trevor Hildenberger getting loose. Gonzalez just walking back to the dugout, so everybody has to wait for him to get back there. Down and in, ball one. McCann's reached twice. Hit one off the end of the bat for a single to left field in the second, then drew a walk with one out in the fourth. To the right side, Dozier has a play and plenty of time to make it. Two down, and Correa goes to third. And that'll bring up J.D. Davis.
And you see Taylor Rogers out there, no sleeves. Of course, he was born in Colorado. Still makes his home there. So this isn't cold to him.
Comes Paul Molitor, and with the right-hander Davis due up, looks like the Twins are going to bring in Hildenberger to try to strand Correa at third base. There are two down, and we are scoreless in the sixth. For a living, I had the pleasure of listening to one of the best. Joe McConnell passed away on Sunday. He did Twins games on the radio. He was Herb Carneal's partner on the radio in between his stints with Frank Quillisi. He was an outstanding football announcer, did Viking football for their glory years in the 70s and then again in the 80s, and Got a chance to meet Joe years ago, but really sad to hear of his passing because of the fact that although just 2 years spent in a Twins booth, he was a part of Twins broadcast history.
And of course, our
Twins go to the bullpen, trying to get the third out here in the 6th inning from J.D. Davis.
that'd be Trevor Hildenberger making his 5th relief appearance. 4 innings. 1 strikeout, 3 walks.
Davis has struck out twice. Hildenberger trying to strand Correa's leadoff double. And there is strike 1.
That sidearm delivery of Trevor Hildenberger.
One strike to Davis. To left field and down for a hit. And that ball skips by Rosario. Davis will take at least 1 extra base. He'll round second, head to third. And the Astros get a 2-out hit from Davis to take a 1-0 lead.
Well, Rosario came hustling in. The ball landed in front of him and then ricocheted off his glove behind him. So Davis jumping on a fastball. There should be a base hit and an error on Rosario to allow Davis to get second and third.
A 2-base error putting Davis at third, but more importantly right now a 2-out 1-strike single off of Hildenberger to score the game's first run. Here's Marisnik.
Run charge to Taylor Rogers.
And around the hands, ball 1. Correa cracked a triple into the right field corner. Now Davis with a clutch hit and a bouncer to wide of third. Backhanded effectively by Castro. Now a fastball off the plate. Astros with 5 hits, the Twins with just 1, but a couple of hits here in the 6th inning have produced the game's first run. And at the knees, 3-2. Marisnik thought it was ball 4.
Well, Hildenberger with that sinking fastball. Take a look at the last pitch. Clipping the lower part of the strike zone.
Received nicely by Castro. On the ground, Escobar has it, and that ends the inning. But the Astros cash in after the leadoff double, a clutch 2-out hit, and they lead it 1-0.
Twins series with the defending World Series champions continues. Join us tomorrow night at 6:30 when the Twins host, yes, the defending champs, the Houston Astros. We'll see you tomorrow night at 6:30 on Fox Sports North.
I think it's supposed to be warmer tomorrow night, isn't it?
Believe it or not, I believe approaching 50 degrees tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, on Wednesday.
Yeah.
A day game on Wednesday. Get out the sunscreen. Here's Castro to lead off the 6th. Because I'm running out of winter hats to wear. Trying to wear a different one every day. Fouled back. Castro called out on strikes his first time up.
I saw the numbers on Verlander. 5 shutout innings, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Only the hit by Mauer in the first inning to double. That's it.
Up and away. And taken for a strike, 1 and 2.
So many assortment of pitches by Verlander. You know, when he first came up, his first full year.
It's a lot like
back in 2006. The hat you gave me in Houston.
Yeah, I got you in Houston at the Astrodome.
Bought me 2 of them, remember?
To right field down the line. There's nobody there. That's going to drop for a hit. And Castro digs for second. He's got a double. So the Twins start their 6th inning with a double. And Castro with a little soft pop-up, but it beat the outfield shift.
Yeah, the shift was shading him toward the center field. That's where Fisher was playing. This little slider came running in on Castro, and he hit it right down that right field line. See how far Fisher had to go get it to retrieve it, and it's a double for Castro. His first double of the year on his 2nd hit.
Pair of doubles for the Twins. The other one came with 1 out in the first. Now a leadoff double, and here's Dozier. Is it a ground ball to third and hit a fly ball to center? And this is where we'll see the vintage Verlander reaching back for a little extra. That fastball at 94. One strike to Dozier. Nice block by McCann on a pitch in the dirt. 1-1.
Yeah, that's a changeup right there. Right in front of the plate.
1-1 to Dozier. Down and away. Good take by Dozier. 2-1. Astros have a good and fortified bullpen. We'll take a look at the check swing here. They just haven't needed to use the bullpen that much because the starters have consistently pitched so deep into the ball games.
Well, Brian has seen a fastball in this at bat so far, the changeup, and then the slider. Verlander shaking off, getting the pitch he wants.
Pounded foul.
Nice play by third base coach Gene Glenn.
Verlander's gotten strikeouts on just about all of his pitches. We've seen the two-seam fastball that tails over the corner, the outside corner, to a right-handed batter. But we've seen breaking balls. Makes it a tough challenge, even though Dozier's seeing him for the 3rd time tonight. Little roller. It'll advance the runner. Verlander has no play. Earlier, the Astros got a couple of hits like that, and now Dozier gets one.
Well, it looked like a breaking ball right there. Brian just hit it soft to us, kind of a swinging bunt. Verlander getting over there and realizes he has no play. On the play, Castro moving over to third.
Prior to this inning, the only Twins batter to reach against Verlander was Mauer, and he did it twice with a double and a walk. And now Mauer will hit with runners at first and third and nobody out. Middle of the infield playing back. They'll take a double play and give back the tying run. And now McCann comes in front of the plate to give signs. In the event Dozier takes off.
Right.
I think we saw with Bregman, though, the cold does a lot of things, but it almost eliminates the quick first step that base stealers need. Mauer takes up, ball one. One and 0 to Mauer. At the knees, a strike.
Zach Duke getting loose in the Twins bullpen. No activity yet in the Astros bullpen.
One and one to Joe Mauer. 2-1. Presumably, barring any weather issues, the Twins are going to be playing 7 games in 7 days here. So for the first time, you're managing a game with some thought as to, trying to conserve your bullpen down the road. Two and one to Mauer. Tying run 90 feet away. Fouled near the tarp. 2-2. We've established we're not superstitious. Verlander needs a strikeout. One of the areas we saw last year Joe really improve on, and it's really been improved this year. He hasn't struck out hardly at all, just 2 strikeouts on the season. And that's exactly what Verlander is going to try to do here.
Verlander, yeah, he's going to try to see what his strikeout pitch is right here.
2-2.
And we're going to see. And he went with a changeup. And Joe, such good eye at the plate, takes it.
A lot of things at play here. A full count. Guy who's got a really good eye at the plate has become once again a really good contact hitter. Some speed at first with Dozier. Davinsky warming up in the Houston pen. Full count to Joe Mauer. Got him down and in. And Joe strikes out for just the 3rd time this year. 1 down.
Well, he tried to change up 2-2. Here, straight over the top fastball. And Verlander striking out his 8th batter. See the 4-seam fastball? Almost like a little cutter down and in, and Joe unable to lay off of.
And now the strikeout prone Sano, who has struck out twice against Verlander tonight.
Look fastball early and don't miss it.
Off the plate, ball 1.
Little cutter, slider.
1-0 to Sano. Takes a strike.
That's the same fastball, same location that struck out Sano in the 4th inning.
It's not just the velocity, 95. It's where he put it.
Yep.
Castro started the inning with a double. Dozier with a scratch single. On the outside corner at 96. The fastest fastball we've seen all night.
And Sano thought it was outside. He struck him out on his first at bat on the slider down and away, and then he took a call 3rd strike in the 4th on that fastball right there.
1-2. Rosario on deck. High fastball got him. And Sano with some parting words as he leaves home plate. Again, 96 miles per hour. 2 down.
Well, we talked about it before with Justin Verlander. You find that little extra with the game on the line, even though it's only the 6th inning. A high fastball after 2 fastballs down and away goes up the ladder a little bit with that 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
There are just a handful of pitchers who can do what Verlander has done so often and might be on the verge of doing here in this 6th inning. Here is Rosario. Big pop up right side, and Verlander stalks off the mound. Altuve with the catch, and the Twins leave 2 aboard, and Verlander pitches out of a jam in the 6th. Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. Built for baseball, presented by T-Mobile, the best network for streaming baseball, because your stadium should be where you make it. We are on the west edge of downtown Minneapolis on another cold night here in Minnesota. And Derek Fisher will lead things off against Trevor Hildenberger. Each team got a leadoff double in the 6th. The Astros got a 2-out hit to score a run, and the Twins did not. In fact, they couldn't even get a ball put in play from their best contact hitter. That ball is bunted, and it might have even been a double hit. It's 1 strike. Looked like he bunted it down, and it came up and contacted his bat a second time.
I was just going to think, you know, we were talking right there about watching the bunt right there with Fisher, because he's very, very quick of foot. Take a look right here. He's just squaring around. He feels if he gets it out far enough, he's just going to outrun it. The ball foul. Saw Buxton do that
Right.
earlier in the year.
Now, if the ball comes up and hits the bat and then rolls in fair territory, it's a dead ball.
Right.
1 strike. And I couldn't tell on replay whether the ball actually hit the bat a second time. Outside 1-1. Swing and a miss.
Good changeup right there.
Now with 2 strikes, Sano will swing over to the right side of the infield.
Hey, pull the string and Fisher way out front.
On the ground sharply to Mauer. 1 away. And that'll bring up George Springer 0 for 3. Couple of strikeouts and a fly ball. All of that against Lance Lynn. Addison Reed's getting loose.
Now we saw Zach Duke getting some throwing in here. Now Addison Reed.
No game yesterday, and it might be a case where, you know, it just is a smart thing to do to get loose and try to get the blood circulating a little bit in case you're needed an inning or so later. Big swing and a miss by Springer. Off the end of the bat, right past Gene Glenn, near the steps of the Twins dugout, and Paul Molitor right between them. Two strikes. Right for the helmet rack, a bat rack there. And a foul back.
Hildenberger there went over the top rather than a sidearm delivery.
He used that pitch very effectively last year, but you know that secret is out. I'm sure hitters have seen the video and they know the tendencies with all the information available that, hey, 2 strikes, watch out, this guy might come in over the top. Pop-up. Mauer coming in. Castro calls for it, and that's out number 2. Target Field has become a top choice for families in Twins territory celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, bachelor, bachelorette parties, family celebrations of any type. Can schedule your special event in a fully catered Target Field hospitality space available for groups of 16 to 250 plus. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS. That covers the inside corner. And now high. And now down and away, 2-1. Bregman was drawing a couple of walks on the night, thrown out trying to steal. Now trying to get aboard with 2 gone in the 7th. Right off the end of the bat, and Hildenberger with a nice fielding play and a flip. And he enjoys a 1-2-3 quick top of the 7th. scoring ball game.
Well, with Justin Verlander on the mound, you know it's going to be a well-pitched ball game, and really both pitchers pitched well. Both starters, Lance Lynn, yeah, he needed 105 pitches in 5 innings, but they were shutout innings. 9 strikeouts, 4 walks, only really 1 hit to the outfield, 2 infield hits. But it's J.D. Davis off of Trevor Hildenberger with 2 outs, drives in the only run of the ball game so far.
And look who's out there to pitch to the Twins in the 7th.
Well, 98 pitches for Verlander. No surprise that he's back out there.
It'll be Logan Morrison leading off. He's struck out swinging and hit a little pop-up behind third base. Low, ball 1.
I mentioned before, you know, you look at Verlander, what amazes me, he's only been on a disabled list 1 time in his career. And that was back in 2015.
Right back to the screen, 1-1.
He has been a workhorse. 12 full seasons in the big leagues. And 10 of the 12 he's pitched at least 200 innings or more. Cy Young Award winner, MVP for Verlander. Coming in 2011 when he won 24 games.
One and one. Big pop-up right side of the infield.
He took a little bit off that pitch right there. Morrison out front, popped it straight up.
One down on the 7th, and that'll bring up Escobar.
I expect that 90+-mile-an-hour fastball, little slider left up, and Morrison a little upset that he popped that up.
Well, Morrison struggling coming into this series. 1 for 19, and you get Verlander tonight, Keuchel tomorrow, and a guy who might have the best curveball in the American League, Lance McCullers, on Wednesday. Not exactly the type of pitching staff you'd want to break out of slump against.
Talked about the Verlander, Cy Young, or you got Keuchel tomorrow night. He's got a Cy Young in his home.
1-0 to Escobar. Driven hard to right field, but caught on the warning track with Fisher snatching it about 5 feet from the fence. 2 down.
Yeah, one of the hardest hit balls by the Twins tonight. Escobar hit it sharply, but Fisher and his speed caught up to it on the warning track. He was playing pretty deep anyway, but a fastball right there. And Escobar has been swinging a hot bat. Hit it sharply, but Fisher catches it.
Oh, almost took his eyes off the ball too early there.
Right there.
He did.
Yeah.
That's he gave you the impression, I think, on replay that he might have lost that ball in the lights a little bit. Kepler takes a strike over the inside corner.
Big slow curveball there.
Well, here he is, 3rd time through the order. It's the 7th inning, and he just is. If he wasn't so good against the team we're covering, it is fun to watch someone like this. All right, that's 95, right? But he's getting strikeouts on his full arsenal of pitches. Slower breaking balls, the quick sliders. Whatever it was, he threw Mauer down in the dirt. Joe hardly ever chases a pitch that far out of the strike zone. Last to the gap in left center, and down for a hit in front of a sliding Gonzalez. A 2-out single for Max Kepler.
Well, he left a pitch up to Escobar, then Escobar hit it sharply for the 2nd out. Right here, a pitch up, and Kepler putting a good swing on it the other way. Gonzalez comes charging in, unable to get it, but the ball stays right there, just right underneath him. That'll knock the wind out of you sometimes, but he gets up and gets it back in quickly.
Buxton with a grounder to first and a fly to right.
4th hit for the Twins.
Pulled hard and foul, 1 strike. Sox and the Astros they have no weak links. Their bullpen is very good, and Brad Peacock is warming up now. They just haven't had to use their relief corps as often as most other teams.
Brett Strom, the pitching coach, right there by A.J. Hinch.
One strike to Buxton. Kepler back. Fouled straight back.
Watch out. Nice grab by the fan right below us.
I was going to say it had to hurt his hands, but you know, he's not wearing gloves, so I don't think he can feel anything in his hands anyway. 2 strikes to Buxton. Liner, a rocket. Might be the hardest hit ball tonight, and it's right to Correa, and Verlander has 7 shutout innings. In a pitcher's duel here, stocking caps, whatever it takes to keep particularly your head and your feet warm, you know?
Yep.
If your feet get cold, the rest of you, it's just a matter of time.
Amen.
And as I've proven, you know, if you have a nice hat, a nice warm hat, your mental faculties can somehow be restored through this cold, frigid weather. At least that's the idea. Here's Addison Reed.
Reed coming in for the 5th time out of that bullpen. He's been outstanding. 5 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks. Reed, of course, in his first season with the Twins. Signing as a free agent over the winter.
Altuve is 1 for 3. Splintered his bat, got a roller for a base hit in the infield. And then Correa and Gonzalez. To right, Kepler chasing it. 1 down. Pretty well hit ball for the first out. And it'll bring up Correa, who cracked a double into the right field corner, leading off the 6th. And then 3 batters later scored the only run of the game.
Well, no secret what Reed throws, just a good fastball to come right at it. He's a strike thrower, hard slider. Giving up only 1 hit in the 5 1/3 innings in relief.
Off the plate, 1-0. Two and 0. Foul back. What the Astros proved last year, and so far they're proving it again, they can beat you regardless of what type of game they find themselves in. You want to score a lot of runs like the Orioles did? They scored 6 against the Astros. Astros still won 10-6. You just, you know, if they only score 1 run as they did in 10 innings Saturday against the Padres, they won that 1-0 ball game, and now they're leading here tonight 1-0. That's a sign of a really good team.
Well, if you want a winning and a championship team, you have to win the 1-run ball games.
You don't expect in this day and age, though, to win too many 1-0 ball games. There's Dallas Keuchel.
You try to win them any way you can.
2-2, and now 3-2.
Reed working off that first base side of the pitching rubber, a crossfire.
Verlander with his jacket off, he might be done for the night. Headed up the middle. Escobar catches but has no play.
Good effort by Escobar right there, ranging far to his left, but Correa and his speed, you knew it was going to beat it out. His second hit. Great effort right here by Escobar. Little spin around, trying to get it over to first. Correa already passed the bag.
And Marwin Gonzalez will hit.
So the third infield hit for the Astros of the 6 hits they've had so far.
The 2 hits that produced the run in the 6th inning were both well struck. And now Gonzalez. On the outside corner, strike 1. Deep to the left field corner. Chased by Rosario. That ball is off the wall. Correa around second to third. A hard carom off the padding, and the Astros take a 2-0 lead. Gonzalez chasing Rosario all the way to the wall, and the Twins left fielder got to the wall the same time the ball did.
Yeah, Gonzalez getting a fastball away and going that way. Rosario has to chase after it. The ball hit off the wall, and that allows Correa to score from first base as the ball caroms off the wall back toward the infield. So Gonzalez driving in his 5th run of the year on his 3rd double.
So a couple of big opposite field doubles for the Astros. Correa's in the 6th that led to a run. Now an RBI double by Gonzalez. And McCann will bat. Over the inside corner, strike 1. Swing and a miss. Take another look at the swing of Gonzalez and where the pitch was. The last pitch brought to you by Carrier.
Well, fastball, you can see out of the strike zone. up and away, and Gonzalez, good piece of hitting again. Last year he had a great year for him, hit over 300, drove in 90 runs.
0-2. McCann fouls it back. Blocked by Castro. 1-2. Missed the corner. 2-2. Gonzalez is doubled, making it a 2-0 ball game. Cut inside, almost hit him at the kneecaps. And it's 3-2.
Well, that's where Castro was set up, inside. Just missed inside.
J.D. Davis on deck.
Last pitch right here. You see Castro wanting it in, but just too far in.
Yeah, it looked like a pitch up, maybe out of the strike zone, but McCann chases it. 2 down.
Reed picking up a strikeout for the second round out of the inning.
And that'll bring up Davis. Pulled a base hit, a line drive that bounced in front of Rosario, scored the run, and Davis advanced to third base, but Marisnick was retired after that, so the error by Rosario didn't cost the Twins a run.
Well, Hildenberger, first batter he faced, he just left the pitch up, and Davis ended up taking advantage of it, driving in the run.
One and 0 to Davis. Big swing and a miss. One and 2. Reed getting some swings and misses here, but he found the barrel of Marwin Gonzalez. Upstairs, a strikeout to end the inning. It was Gonzalez driving one off the fence in left for an RBI double, and it's 2-0 Houston.
8th. It's a 2-0 lead right now for Houston. And coming up after the final out, we will bring you Twins Live, presented by CenturyLink. And tonight, look at a pretty impressive start from Justin Verlander, who is done now after his 7 innings of work, gave up just 4 hits to the Twins. Lance Lynn for Minnesota had an interesting outing. He did strike out 9, but also walked 4 batters. Jack Morris will help break down Lance Lynn's start tonight. And we will hear from the manager, Paul Molitor. That's coming up right after the final out. Dick and Bert.
All right, thank you, Marty. Jason Castro will lead things off for the Twins. It's the 8th inning, and finally the Astros turn to the bullpen. It's Brad Peacock pitching for Houston. Twins hoping for a late inning comeback.
Yeah, Brad Peacock making his 5th relief appearance. He picked up his first save just the other day. First career save. Peacock, good fastball, good slider, and a changeup.
1 strike to Castro. He dropped a double down the right field line his last time up. Just 6 innings without allowing a run and 8 strikeouts, no walks. Another foul.
Oh, we talked about their starting staff and ERA at 1.83 combined. The bullpen, they're 3-0 out of that bullpen with a combined earned run average at 2.32. So overall, they came into this ball game.
So that's their weak link,
yeah.
Right? That's the bullpen.
They played 10 ball games, and they have a combined ERA, starter relievers, of 2.
It doesn't appear to be going up tonight, at least not yet. Castro with a liner to center, a well-hit ball, and he's got a 2-hit night. And that'll get Dozier to the plate as a tying run.
Well, again, Castro knows the pitching staff. He caught it for 6 years. And Peacock, one of those guys that he caught many times. Verlander can only watch now. He threw 109 pitches, 69 for strikes of shutout baseball.
Dozier singled his last time up. Just a little number up the 3rd baseline for a hit. Twins had 1st and 3rd, nobody out. And then Verlander buckled down in the 6th. Strike of the knees. Dozier with 4 home runs leading the team. Those 4 home runs came in 3 successive games. Breaking ball inside, and it's 1-1. With their 3rd leadoff man on here. Took a leadoff walk on the 4th, didn't score. The leadoff double and single in the 6th, and now Castro aboard with a sharp single to center.
Peacock, 30 years old, in his 6th season with the Astros, came up to the big leagues in 2011 with the Nationals.
2-1 to Dozier. Fastball that rode in on the handle of his bat. 2-2.
Yeah, Peacock, one of those guys that was fighting for a starting role in spring training. He's out in the bullpen now. 21 starts last year, 34 games, won 13 games.
Dozier waves at a breaking ball. 1 down.
Peacock last year, 161 strikeouts in 132 innings.
See Bryant give you a swing like that. 1 down. 1 down, and now Mauer. Double, a walk, and a big strikeout in the 6th. Inside ball 1. Ryan Presley and Fernando Rodney. It's the 8th inning, and if the Twins get a couple here, we might see Rodney. Another breaking ball over for a strike.
A lot of sliders.
Just outside, 2-1. Davinsky warming up again. A strike taken, 2-2.
I don't know if he's thrown a fastball yet. It's all been curveball, slider. Another little cutter.
Two and two to Joe Mauer. 3-2. Sano on deck. Castro goes, and it's ball 4. Castro taking off on the 3-2 pitch. And the Twins have another threat here in the 8th inning.
All right, finally threw a fastball, but it's 93 miles an hour down and away. Brett Strom, the pitching coach, out to talk to his right-hander. Ball has some sink on it, and a good take by Joe for ball 4. Joe walking for the second time in the golf ball game.
Brent Strom's completed his conversation. Here's our Century Link What's Next, and it doesn't get any easier. Different type of pitcher, but another very good pitcher going for Houston tomorrow.
Jake Odorizzi, outstanding numbers against the Houston Astros. And by Dallas Keuchel, off to a little bit of a slow start.
Here is Sano. Verlander struck him out 3 times. A breaking ball, and then he just blew him away with fastballs in the 4th inning and again in the 6th. Breaking ball over the inside corner, strike 1. Checked his swing, 1-1. Sano has 8 hits. He has put the ball in play just 13 times this year.
See where Sano stands in the box.
1-1. 3/4 swing and strike 2.
Another slider. Looks like Peacock has very tight rotation on that slider. It's like a frisbee.
1-2. Breaking ball again off the plate. That was a good take by Sano. He's already struck out 3 times. Saw the spin and took it for ball 2.
Yeah, 4 straight sliders to Sano.
Missed inside, 3-2. Rosario on deck. And a walk, of course, puts the tying run in scoring position.
Well, I missed with the fastball down and in, almost the same pitch he threw to Joe Mauer, 3-2. So You got to look almost for a slider here. Hopefully he'll hang it.
A high drive to deep left field, but foul. He hung it, and Sano pulled it foul.
Just a little bit ahead of his himself. He hung this slider.
Oh,
Wow.
a night of futility for Sano. He was given a gift, and he hooked it foul.
Hang it again.
Fastball, a shattered bat, and they try for the force out at second on a close play. Most of the bat ended up near the outfield grass, and we'll see whether the Twins challenge this. The throw just barely nipping Mauer at second, who's staying at second base.
Yeah, Joe, I think they want the Twins to look at it.
A hard late slide by Joe. I don't know if you can overturn it. The Twins are challenging it, so you may as well here in the 8th inning. A very close call at second base, and we'll see what the ruling is from New York. At the very least, the inning will continue with runners at first and third and 2 down.
Well, good hustle by Joe Mauer. Bregman going for the force out at second. Joe, foot first slide.
The ruling is the ball has to be in the back of the glove. I don't think they're going to be able to overturn that, but I've been wrong all year long.
Well, the 15,000 plus fans here tonight.
We're right there.
Yep.
It sure looks like Mauer's foot is on the bag. Remember, it's not a tag here, so he can overslide all he wants. If he gets to the base before the ball does, he's safe. Here comes the ruling. Safe, and they're loaded by an eyelash. And the angle we had from our high third camera was the perfect angle to take a look at it. You could see the ball hadn't settled, hadn't touched Altuve's glove until after Mauer had engaged the base.
Well, credit Joe Mauer right there for his hustle to get into second base. Don't take it for granted that Bregman would pick it up and throw to first against Sano.
Davinsky will come in.
rallying right here. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
The Twins pinch running for Sano. Adrianza's in at first base, so Sano's out of the game. Rosario's in the box against Chris Davinsky. The chant of Eddie, Eddie. Up the middle, hits the mound right to the bag, and a double play. Unbelievable. Hit right over the mound, right to Correa. The Twins fill the bases but don't score. First pitch from Chris Davinsky.
Yeah, right back up the middle. Davinsky's momentum gets him out of the way. One little two-hopper. And Correa, easy double play.
Twins had a great chance in the 6th, an even better chance in the 8th. The Astros scored in the 6th, the Astros scored in the 8th, so the Twins have had some opportunities, but they've come up empty. And now Ryan Presley will try to keep this a 2-0 ball game.
Ryan making his 4th relief appearance.
Marisnick will bat against Presley with Escobar moving to 3rd and Adrianza in the game at short. Marisnick tried to bunt earlier and fouled it. One strike again here now in the 9th. Fourth reliever for the Twins after Lance Lynn gave the Twins 5 shutout innings. Down and away a ball. Big swing and a miss.
Yeah, good slider right there by Ryan.
Mentioned the bullpen really had a tough time against the Astros here last year. Ryan was on the hook for a lot of runs that the Astros beat up on the Twins bullpen late in a couple of the ball games. 1 and 2. And Presley strikes out Marisnick, 1 down. Take a look at the Dodge Ram road ahead. We were postponed yesterday. Seattle went to Kansas City and got beaten up tonight. 3 here with Houston, 4 with the White Sox, then a couple of home games in San Juan. when it better be warmer there than it is here in Minnesota. And then technically, I guess, their home games, but it's really a road trip that will start in San Juan, then go to Tampa Bay, and then go to New York to take on the Yankees. Really is odd that in the first 5 weeks of the season, the Twins are going to play just 6 games within their division. They're playing a lot of games against the West and the East to get started. That's one of the complications with this weather, because
that's the only time in for these teams. Seattle now will be what is it, in May 14th will be the makeup game,
and that was the concern, frankly, in the south side of Chicago. That's one of the reasons they did a marvelous job getting that field ready to play, because the White Sox are hosting the Rays, and it's Tampa's only trip to Chicago this year. 1-1 to Fisher. And now 2-1. They can afford to smile because they're good. They know it. They've already got a World Series championship under their belt. And there may be more down the road. At the knees, 2-2. And there's strike 3, 2 down.
Yeah, nasty curveball right there. So Ryan coming in, picking up a couple strikeouts. Straight over the top, tight breaking ball. And Presley picks up 2 strikeouts.
And now Springer hitting for the 5th time. Not very often you'll see a team leading 2-0 in the 9th inning, sending anybody up for a 5th time, but there were a lot of walks. Astros have left 8 men on. One and 0 to Springer. A couple of strikeouts, a fly ball, and a foul out.
Good slider there, good location.
Breaking ball lifted foul. One and 2. One and 2 to Springer. Mauer flips to Presley. Good inning for Ryan Presley. We'll see if the Twins can reward their faithful for staying with them on a frigid night here at Target Field with a 9th inning comeback. Minnesota Lynx night at Target Field. A limited number of Lynx team night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a Twins Lynx co-branded cap. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/Lynx or call 800-33-TWINS. Stavinsky still out there with the Twins due to send up Morrison, Escobar, and Kepler. Bench players available: Garver, Grossman, and Lamar.
And Davinsky in his third season with the Astros. He made the All-Star team last year for the Houston Astros.
And Morrison is 0 for 3. 1 for 22 on the year. Hoping to get a board here. Fouled back. It looked like Davinsky left a pitch up, and Morrison's just having a hard time squaring things up.
Yeah, Davinsky relies on a good sinking fastball. That's more the four-seamer. Mix in a curveball, changeup.
Off the plate. 2-1. Ken Giles warming up. Hooked foul, and it's 2-2. Giles available tonight, obviously. Wasn't available yesterday, according to A.J. Hinch. Two and two to Logan Morrison. Will pop up left side again, and a long run for Bregman, and not far from where he caught the pop up in the fourth inning. Morrison's retired, one down.
Yeah, third time in a ball game that Morrison has popped up down that third base line.
One down, and now Escobar. Inside, ball one. One thing we saw with Verlander on the mound and these relievers, if they miss with one pitch, they come right back to the next pitch. Very rarely do you see back-to-back pitches out of the strike zone. So the next one, if that's true, should be over the plate.
Well, Davinsky had coming off a great year last year. Of course, a lot of these Astros did, but 82 and 2/3 innings, had 100 strikeouts, only walked 26.
Foul back, 2-2.
So they attacked the strike zone.
And are willing to accept whatever roles are asked of them to perform. A.J. Hinch had a tough decision this year. Who's going to be your opening day starter? Well, they went with Verlander, and Keuchel said, yeah, I'm fine with that. You know, pulled to right, a base hit. That'll race to the corner, and Escobar will round first and go to second. Well, another opportunity for the Twins with the tying run coming to the plate.
Well, fastball right there. Escobar puts another good swing on a pitch. His 5th double of the year. His first hit.
And now here's Kepler. Out in front of the off-speed pitch, strike one. Kepler with a single his last time up. Outside, 1-1. Astros have 7 hits, but more to the point, the reason we are where we are, they got 2 hits, 2 big hits with men on base. And the Twins haven't been able to do that yet. Tap to the right side. Flip to Davinsky, and on the play, Escobar goes to third, 2 away. And here comes A.J. Hinch. He's going to bring in Giles for a 1-out save. So Giles will come in to try to pick up his first save, and he'll try to get Byron Buxton, who will represent the tying run. A 2-0 Houston lead. Twins are down to their last out, and Ken Giles will try to get it for Houston.
Well, Ken Giles had 34 saves last year, a big reason that they got into postseason, but really division series, championship series, and the World Series, Giles really struggled. And I think this might be, you know, here they're trying to get him back to get that confidence going. They need a closer, and Giles did a great job of that, but I think because of his lack of success in postseason, they're trying to baby him back into that closer role. They need him to be the pitcher he was last year during the season.
I know what you're saying. They need a closer, but it looks to me, looking at their career numbers, they got 3 of them.
Yeah.
Davinsky looked completely in control of things here, with Escobar's double notwithstanding. A high drive deep down the left field line, and foul. Buxton nearly tied the game as Sano nearly hit a 3-run home run back in the 8th inning.
Twice in this ball game, the Twins came very, very close to going ahead.
They're going to take a look at it.
To tie.
It's a free look for the Twins, but from up here it looked foul. This is a crew chief review. They'll look at the pitch, and you can see clearly to the left of the foul pole. Sano's ball was a little bit more foul.
Right.
And you can tell, and I think we saw Buxton do it, when a batter leaves the batter's box and they're contorted, like they're trying to keep the ball fair, that's not a good sign. It worked for Carlton Fisk back in '75.
It worked for Carlton Fisk, yeah. Well, he got a breaking ball. Uppercut swing. Is it going to stay fair?
There, see?
Yeah.
So it's a foul ball with Giles hanging a breaking ball, much like the hanger that Sano hit foul.
Yep.
And the count is 1-1. Swing and a miss through the fastball at 98. And now the Twins are down to their last strike.
Been a lot of strikeouts in this ballgame, 23 so far. 13 by the Twins staff, 10 by the Astros staff.
Almost to the backstop. Buxton is 0 for 3. The last time up, he hit the stuffing out of the ball, lining out to Correa. We've seen Byron do that about 5 times this year, trying to keep the game alive for Castro. Two and two. Into the shift. Altuve waits, and the Astros win the opener 2-0. Twins with some chances in the late innings, unable to break through against this very good Houston pitching staff, and the Twins drop to 4-4 on the year. Good ball game, a long ball game, and a cold one, but Jeff, the Astros with a win 2-0.
Coming up next on Twins Live, we've got you covered. Justin Verlander stymies the Twins. We'll look at the start for Lance Lynn. We'll hear from manager Paul Molitor and look ahead at tomorrow night's game 2 as the Twins will try to end a 2-game losing streak. Twins Live from Target Field, straight ahead.